Zach, I have phenomenal news.
What's that?
We're recording.
Oh boy.
Hello, we're doing a video. Uh, and we have a special guest, Fantasy Haven. Hello, thank you for being on the show.
Oh wow, it's me. How did I get here?
Uh,
Thanks
I'm
for having me on.
I'm so glad that you didn't notice that we swapped out your tickets and got you into the booth.
Wait, what?
uh, uh, Fantasy Haven, thank you so much for being on. If you're one of the 9 people who hasn't found his channel, you should go and check it out. But
Yeah,
in the meantime, I have a theory for you guys today.
I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
Let's
Because you've
go.
been
Let's
hyping his
go.
theory up for like a week now, and I have no clue what it is.
Yeah, it's one of the rare, I think pretty good ones. I will note before we get in that this builds on an existing theory. That might help you guys as we
Okay.
start to get into it. Uh uh your opening clue. This is always where we start. I will type out and Zach will explain the rules to the game.
So for anybody who's ever watched before, this is I think the nickname we give it is Deal Me a Card. It is essentially, instead of telling you in a Song of Ice and Fire theory, we're going to reverse engineer it. Tom is going to give me all the evidence he has collected that he believes points to a theory, and then I have to start guessing based off that evidence. And then, say with you, Fantasy Haven, we'll just be vamping about things that these quotes make us think about. And then, if we ever
Mhm.
say anything that is close enough to a clue, it appears on the board. Tom will say ding and write it down. He might
Ooh.
sometimes draw some dramatic red arrows to try and connect ideas in our brains, like a conspiracy
Mhm.
chalkboard. And then eventually we will have reversed engineered the theory, and then we'll talk about it. Uh, and so we have our first quote, and we'll start talking about what that quote means to us, and hopefully we follow the correct path towards that theory, or at the very least, the wrong path we go down is still interesting to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, my hope is always that we go in the complete wrong direction and make up a different other theory.
We do that often, and then we eventually get back on the right path.
All right. So your opening quote, Haven. Would you like to give us a read on this?
Okay. Ooh, you will never walk again, but you will fly, as Bridden Rivers says to Bran Stark when
Yes.
he arrives at Bloodraven's cave. That's what the old man in the tree tells him.
Yes.
So yeah, when I first read this book, my first instinct was, of course, oh, he's referring to warging, because we know that Bran Stark can walk his direwolf summer, and you will fly. Immediately in my head, it was just bringing up images of Bran walking into flying animals. Sort of like I was like, oh, is he going to teach him more about how to skin change beyond his direwolf companion? But then, of course, the more I thought about it, and the more the more rereads, it's like, how deep are we going with this? Is it just animals, like birds, or is it something a bit more? Is it more mystical, right? Like dragons, load of theories about the 3 heads of the dragons and so on. Is it a bit more? I don't know. Is it deeper, more esoteric? Flying through time, perhaps.
I
Time traveling Bran.
I have wonderful
Yeah.
news. That's a you got a ding a little while ago. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. You
Is this
feel
Varamir
real
being
close
able
to
to
it.
warp birds?
Oh, that's a different ding. Nice. I love this
Oh,
game so much.
okay,
oh,
excellent.
okay,
We're
okay.
getting we're getting a lot of dings.
Wow,
in
if you ramble for long enough like me, you'll get a ding.
You ready for this?
Yeah, yes.
We're bringing
You've discovered the
external.
gameplay loop.
The
There's
Haven filibuster.
there's non-canon things in this theory. Fight me in the comments. In season
In
8
season 8, oh
of
boy,
Game of Thrones,
Okay, okay.
everyone's
Bran
favorite season of Game of Thrones.
Bran Stark's principal contribution is spying through the eyes of ravens.
You
That's
could change
true.
principal to only.
Bran Stark's
Oh,
contribution.
Yeah. or, or at least
that's
put
his
contribution
contribution.
in put it in speech marks. His contribution.
Contribution.
Here,
So called.
here we get Bran Stark's role. There we go. Yeah. That is
So he
correct. By
doesn't
the
need a
way,
master of whispers. It's birds.
I just checked. By the way, there are 18 total clues. 18.
Oh my goodness.
and
Yes. You got another
and
one.
and we know Varamir wargs into a bird. He's able
Hmm.
to do that. In fact, that's where his mind ends up after he dies.
Orgs sometimes have a second life, such as uh, Varamir. Varamir with
Hmm.
his wolf, and Orel, his eagle.
Yes. The eagle. I was just about to bring that up.
Oh, Varamir goes into his wolf. It's been forever since I've read Dance.
Oh, that scene's so scary. That scene's
Does he go?
it's phenomenal.
For
He
those
goes.
who don't keep up with the lore, I'm currently on my second reread of the Song of Ice and Fire books. I last finished them in college, and I am much older now.
Better than me. I haven't started them yet.
Yeah, I've been exclusively on a search of Ice and Fire. Uh,
That's how I do
it's
all my research, baby.
it's a much
It
better
it
choice.
works in a pinch, let me tell you.
A Search of Ice and Fire and a Song of Ice and Fire wiki. No need for books.
Yeah, I'm happy to say this. This is just a good bit. We talk about this sometimes. We were talking about it in the pre-show. Uh, I'm curious, just in the comments, genuinely tell me how many times you've read through the entire book series. Because I know that we range from people who have read them 15, 20 times to people who have literally never read them.
And I was talking about a patron of mine who, like, not only has not read the books, because I've got a few, like, show only patrons, but hasn't read the books or watched the show, isn't really interested in the universe, but has decided to sign up and joined my patron community on Discord. It's just like, wow, are my big eye drawings that good that you just want to
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
whatever fever dreams I create each week?
No, Fever
and
Dreams
we
is a
do
different
like
book.
we do hear occasionally. Like I feel like it would be great if every Song of Ice and Fire YouTuber polled their audience on how many times they've read through the books, so we could get like an average. Because I wonder, like, are the people who've only read once or twice like gravitating towards like your channel or our channel? And then if you poll Preston Jacobs' audience, is it like 8? Is like the average number, and
Yeah.
it's like really being brought down by the people who've only read it 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the noobs.
Yeah, the
Get the
average
hell
in
out of this community.
Preston Jacobs is 4. Most people have read it 0 times, but they're being pulled up by Preston, who's read it 350 times.
The real poll for Preston's community is: have you read all of the works of George R. R. Martin, and how many
Yeah.
times?
Oh, I keep getting pitched Song for Leah, and I just haven't gotten to it yet.
This is
I
personally
don't
why
care.
I swallow 1,000 spiders in my sleep every night.
Yeah,
I don't know about
Zach.
you guys. I've heard some good stuff about this Meat House Man novella. Can't wait to dive
Oh,
into that one.
oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god, I love this show. Uh, uh anyway, uh tell me you have a couple more clues. Please continue. You're driving in some interesting directions.
So I think well, Bran here, you will never walk again, but you will fly. That is a you know prediction on two fronts. It's not only that he will control birds. It's that he will never have like mobility by the means of walking again. And this is something he thinks about a lot. Is something I just finished rereading Clash like a month ago. He's still like well into that book, thinking about when he could walk and how he wishes he could, and how he's like hurt by it being taken away from me. And that I believe he asks if he will walk again to set this up. So it's still very pertinent to his mind. And what this makes me think is not necessarily him being like carried around by Hodor in a wheelchair like he is in season 8 of the show. It makes me think more of like Brendan Rivers, who is like intertwined with a tree that he might not walk again. Not because he's incapable of recovering from that injury because he is no longer a human in the way we would think. That he becomes uh, intertwined with the intertwined with the trees. Who
Okay,
that was a
we'll
tongue
we'll cut
twister.
that. Don't worry, we'll cut that.
Yeah, well, no, we'll definitely cut that, and Tom won't leave it in so everybody can comment the timestamp in the comments of Zach not being able to finish the sentence. Uh,
This is all open brackets within that sentence, by the way. The sentence isn't done.
it isn't. It isn't. Uh,
Close brackets.
it makes me think of him being immobilized in a different way that he never considered.
I think that's an interesting take. You will never walk again. In this reading implies you will never move again.
Yes.
Which I think is very interesting. Uh, However, uh, how to phrase? Um, the future of Bran Stark is not the focal point of this theory.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
All right. So this theory isn't leaning towards perhaps a future in which Bran Stark dies and continues to live again in the form of some kind of animal that he skin changes, similar to Varamir and Orell. It's not about Bran Stark.
That is correct. This is not where I'm going.
Okay.
Although that would be an interesting sort of a rabbit hole to drive down. One assumes
Hmm.
that if just like in John, many people theorize that John currently exists in Ghost. Um,
Hmm.
I would assume Summer is top of the list for Bran, but he is the only person that we know who routinely wargs people. So Bran could feasibly live on inside another person. And he might be the only person we know can do that.
All right, let's get real esoteric with it. Will Bran Stark cultivate a cult of badass wargs and then ritualistically sacrifice them once he becomes King Bran the Broken, and their minds will all enter birds and ravens that will spread across Westeros and spy on everyone like a massive surveillance state.
This is
No,
exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. No, but that's awesome.
Varys, unlike you, my little birds are actually little birds.
Yeah, yeah. Brand's literal little birds like report back to him.
Yeah, my little bird is named Kevin. I grabbed him out the Tower of the Hand.
Corn, corn, political dissidents in the north, right? Yeah.
They're,
Okay.
they're burning the crops in the Riverlands.
I like the idea that they can only say corn, so they answer yes or no questions with corn or corn, corn.
Yeah, yeah. It's all they have to speak in Morse code, but it's all the word corn.
Corn,
Morse,
corn, corn, corn.
Morse corn.
Morse corn.
Don't
Brand's
even
like,
Terrible.
ask them what their favorite metal band is. It's Metallica. Anyway, I'm bringing us back on the rails.
Back on the rails. All
No,
right.
that is not what I'm looking for. Um,
okay.
would you guys like a card, or would you like to continue digging?
So so Brendan Rivers is another thing we have here. We have Bran, which we know is not a path to lockdown. We have Brendan Rivers and we have Varamir and Orel. Um it goodness. So Brendan Rivers is Bloodraven. He's always had a bird in his name, actually. As long as he's been, a force to be reckoned with. I presume he wasn't born and everybody said we're going to call him Bloodraven. It does raise the question how he earned that nickname, which is a thing that I don't know if I've ever looked up to see the answer. And from my recent read of the Duncan Egg novellas, I don't think they answer it there.
I think they do. I think Dunk thinks about it, and like Dunk in universe like mocks it a little bit, like mocks the
Yeah.
naming. He says that Bloodraven is named Bloodraven because he has a birthmark on his cheek that looks like a raven. Um, he has a wine stained birthmark that Dunk thinks. I don't think it looks
Oh,
like the
that's right.
wine. It doesn't look like anything.
You're right. No, you're totally right. It looks more like an ink blot. Also, the I completely forgot about that. I'm looking at his art now, and you can actually see it. That's um Gorbachev, right? Gorbachev was had a wine stained birthmark on his head, and that was
Zach,
like a big thing back in the day.
Zach, I'm. Go ahead. Go ahead. Please.
I, I can't believe I forgot how Bloodraven was named. I guess I wasn't paying as much attention when I listened through Duncan Egg as I thought. But
It's okay.
Bloodraven,
You were listening to Damon Blackfire flirt. It's okay.
I remember the flirting very vivid. Uh, um, Bloodraven. Yeah, there's like a Gorbachev parallel there that I didn't think about, but I don't think that's where we're going with this one.
Yeah, that's a
Uh,
very interesting, very different theory that I do love. But there isn't. Bloodraven is mentioned elsewhere in this theory only as part of a naming convention. Um,
naming
he
convention.
does not exist elsewhere in this theory.
Part of a naming convention.
Correct.
So, um, Bran thinks he's the three-eyed crow. That's like a naming thing. He's also a green seer. That's a naming thing, a term for a group of people. Are those paths I should be walking down?
No, that's not what I'm looking for. Haven, what do you think?
Naming anything to do with him being a bastard? Rivers?
No, though that's interesting.
Hmm. What else?
Among
Titles. He was a hand at some point. He was Master of Whisperers. Um, Three-Eyed Crow, Bloodraven.
just so that
Is it?
oh, go ahead.
Hmm. No, go.
Just so I don't push you guys too far down the wrong direction. Um, in this case, something that is named after Bloodraven by fans generally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is reference to Bloodraven's cave elsewhere in here, but
Ah,
not Bloodraven personally. So,
Okay.
what
Bloodraven's cave.
can you tell me about Bloodraven's cave a little bit?
It's full of tree roots. Uh, it's the children of the forest hang out or in and around it. Uh,
Do you
you
guys
can
remember?
get some real quality Jojen paste there.
Yeah, I was gonna say delicious paste, going cheap.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That might fit. Oh my God, that might fit. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that. All right, somebody remind me at the end of this theory. We gotta talk about Joker paste. Okay, we're gonna talk about that at
Did
the
we
end.
accidentally create evidence?
Yes, yes, you did.
Wow.
We're gonna talk about that at the end. Um, uh, uh, why don't you guys take one or two more stabs, and then I'll give you that. Um, then I'll give you that clue. That the clue
Alright,
related to Bloodraven's cave.
Bloodraven's cave. There are rumors that Dark Sister may be in Bloodraven's cave.
I love that theory. That's so fun.
Yeah, that he brought it with him when he was banished to the wall.
Not what
Um,
I'm looking for. Zach, why don't you hit me with one more?
Hit you with one more, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
one more stab related to Bloodraven's cave, and then I'll give you this one to make sure that we don't
uh,
dig too far in the rabbit hole of
according to
lore.
our good friend Michael talks about stuff, it's connected with every other cave and well in the entirety of Westeros.
Um,
And I believe that,
you know,
unfortunately.
you know what? I think that's kind of close. You know what? Yeah, we'll call that close enough. Uh,
Woo!
um, many
oh yeah.
many fans believe
Hmm.
Bran's time slip will happen when falling down a well while escaping Bloodraven's cave.
Oh no. There we go.
There is not very much time traveling Bran in this theory, I promise. There's only a little bit.
So,
Hmm.
falling down a well will escape.
I've not heard this
Interest.
before.
Oh yes, one of the core tenets of Preston Jacobs' time traveling Bran. He asserts that um, uh, uh, Bran Mira is referenced as a very good climber many times. So they will have to climb their way out, and Bran will fall, and during that fall, that is when he will be sent back in time.
Oh,
In a scene mirroring
the first book where he falls off the tower.
ding
Yeah, yes.
in
Oh, there-
Game of Thrones, Bran falls from the broken tower.
Okay.
What happens immediately thereafter from Bran's perspective? Oh no, I put a Game of Thrones. No, get in there.
yes.
No one's gonna notice.
There we go.
Nobody notice. We'll cut this. Don't
Oh,
worry.
Game of
nobody will notice
Thrones.
this.
It sounds like it's from one of those like bootleg rip-off series.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the
The Ballad of
wish.com.
the Ballad of Snow and Flames.
Yeah.
Bell of Snowflakes.
No. It's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
god damn.
From Bran's perspective, what happens right after that?
He has the Raven dreams, right? He has the Crow
Yeah, he
dreams
has the
right after.
dream where he's
And
flying.
Yeah.
he has the dream where he's flying and he sees the
Mm.
other flyers.
Ding. During or after Bran. Come on. Oh my God. Bran Stark's fall. He experiences I can type. Experiences a vision where
Hmm.
falls on grab my red pen while you guys talk about this.
Okay. So this theory isn't about Bran per se, and yet a lot of Bran related evidence.
Correct.
Hmm. So either during the fall, yeah, he slips into this vision, or perhaps while in a coma, he slips into this vision after the fall.
Yes,
Um,
at least from my reading, it is unclear whether his vision happens while he is unconscious or during his fall. I am of the opinion it's intentionally ambiguous, but I have
hmm.
been argued against before.
Yeah, I've always read it as a coma dream, but it could easily be something that triggered why he was falling. Yeah, I'm open to both.
And this connects very nicely with this of things happening during the fall.
During the fall, he in the first book he has that vision, and then potentially in the future he has a fall which results in the time slip, the kind of time travel. So Preston's theory here, because I'm not super familiar with it, by time slip you mean like his mind?
Yes, that is the
Yeah,
moment.
not his body. He doesn't literally teleport.
Yes.
Ah!
Oh yeah. Oh,
Lands on top of.
oh, that's great. I love that. That's some real like that takes it from Game of Thrones to some real like Marvel shit.
Yeah,
Where
he
like
just like teleports, lands on top of Aegon the Fourth, bounces off.
yeah, he like falls. He starts like at the top of the Red Keep and like flashes in and falls like halfway down, and everyone sees him and he flashes out again and goes somewhere else.
Oh, it's like a Doctor Strange thing.
Yeah.
It's like ah.
Now I think that's stupid, but that doesn't mean it's not fun.
Yes.
And then
That's
he
for the
finally
anime
lands
adaptation.
on young Hodor. He lands on young Hodor and
Yeah.
bashes his head against a wall, and he starts going Hodor. Bran's like, "What have I done?" Benioff from Weiss didn't understand what George was saying. He didn't. He didn't. They didn't get it.
Yeah. Bran, like, while falling through one dimension, like, grabbed a door, and then when falling through another dimension, he accidentally dropped that door on Hodor.
Yes.
It's so stupid. Can you imagine that was it?
Walter, hold this door. Hold door?
He
I
just
do
vanishes.
like this version where things he interacts with also travel through time.
Yeah,
Which
he
explains
grabs them and
actually
pulls them through.
they put that in season 8 with the Starbucks cup. He accidentally grabbed that when he traveled to the future when there was a Starbucks at that location.
Maybe he teleported in front of Jerry and Lannister and grabbed him and pulled him through, and that's why he went missing.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah,
single
he didn't
character
even
that
get
has
on the
gone
boat.
missing.
He didn't even get on the boat
No.
because they're like looking for something he needs, and he accidentally like taps him on the shoulder, and he's just like in the far future, like we're gonna get a cyberpunk story from George R. R. Martin as soon as he's done with these books, and it's just Gary and Lannister just running around in like as a cyberpunk bounty hunter, still looking for a
Oh
sword.
hell yeah! Every single
George, write
character that's
this.
every single character that's gone missing in A Song of Ice and Fire history, in the history of Westeros and Essos, is just Bran during his Doctor Strange moment, teleported in front of them, grabbed them and pulled them along, and there's like a giant like conga line of random historical characters traveling through time.
Benjen's at Woodstock right now, having the time of his life.
Yeah, Benjen's there.
Yeah, he
Damn.
he flashes in, grabs Benjen, drops Benjen off at Woodstock, grabs Jimi Hendrix and flashes him somewhere else.
Oh, that's funny.
All the while he never stops falling. This is important to the story.
Yeah, this is why.
In the
Oh,
comments
damn it, lads.
below.
Focus. What have we done? What is this? What is this bullshit? Focus.
Welcome to the show.
All right.
Okay,
Bran's
all right.
falling.
Yeah.
Vision,
So it's
vision,
falling.
vision. Slash
Visions.
time travel.
Yes.
In a worse
Hmm.
episode, that would have been the theory.
Yeah.
And then
That's
Brendan's
not a bit.
so Brendan's line about "you will fly" could be in reference to the idea of Bran falling or flying in a vision, perhaps, as opposed to
Oh,
like
Oh damn! I thought
potentially.
just
yeah.
like your cadence. I thought you were continuing the bit. And
Oh no no
I
no
thought you
no
were going with it's a reference to like to the song "I Just Want to Fly" or something like that.
no no
No. I like that.
no. I kept I
That,
kept
that makes
I
that.
kept
What
my
is?
dramatic YouTube voice and made it seem like I was continuing the bit.
Oh my god.
Wait, hold on. Tom, I have a strange question to ask.
Uh huh.
Is there a Toy Story quote in this evidence?
What? Hang on. Let me think
Huh?
here. I cannot easily think of a Toy Story quote that would fit. What are you thinking about?
You're not flying. You're falling with style.
Oh shit, no, but that's
I was
awesome and we
thinking
gotta
that.
use that.
I
We
was
gotta
literally
use that.
thinking that.
It's not flying. It's falling with style.
Oh shit,
Exactly.
wait. Okay, I'm gonna write that one down too. we can come back to that. We gotta come back to Jochen Paste. And we gotta come back to Toy Story. Okay.
You will never walk again, but you will fall with style. Bran's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You will never walk again, Andy. Um, would you guys like a card?
Right. I'm gonna say yes.
All right. Zach, are you in agreement?
Yes, I agree.
Okay, I have but I don't know if I mentioned this from the top. I had 18 total clues. I have a 20-sided die. Let's see what we get.
Ooh.
We have an 11. Uh, uh, we yeah, yeah. That's it. This is a related one. Um, near. Oh, whoops. Zach, this is something that you're very fond of. Near-death experiences appear to elicit um, green seer powers from
Yes.
those who have those latent abilities.
The childhood trauma like theory, I call it. The people who, especially at a younger age, have a near death experience disproportionately seem to have some relationship with magic. Melisandre is very young when she got her powers. Sorry to all our
Mm.
patrons who are getting moved.
I'm not sorry.
And you also have, Bran, who's literally pushed from the tower, and Jojen, he had a near death experience with a fever, and then of course you have our man Patchface, who we really love on this channel. He fucking
Oh, yeah.
drowns, and he comes
He
back
does.
with the ability to speak in prophecy.
Whoa,
Uh,
hold the phone. Sidebar. You know who else drowns is Duncan the Tall.
oh, you're right.
This is not relevant to this, but I wanted that out of my brain.
Duncan the Tall is a water white. Dun dun.
Uh,
Slash a prophet of the Drowned God.
does he start having? Does he have weird dreams in the third book?
Yeah, he dreams that some handsome guy starts flirting with him. Oh wait, no, that actually happens.
That's the best book in the series. I'll fight anybody. That's the best book in the
Oh
entire
no, no,
franchise. I love that
no,
book
I
so
love
much.
that. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love that one.
Oh hell yeah.
I know someone whose favorite is the Sworn Sword. I'm like, that's a great one, but it's not the best one.
Yeah.
Not
That's
for
my
me.
favorite, actually. Is the Sworn Sword, but I like slow books of people talking in rooms, and that's a great book about people talking in rooms.
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
that
that's the
I
thing.
really
The
loved
Duncan
I
Egg.
really loved the movie Oppenheimer. It was like all people talking in rooms. I was thrilled.
Hell yeah. Aye, aye, see Oppenheimer.
Is what Bloodraven said. Uh,
Okay, all right. We can't go too far down the Duncan Egg path. Although there are Bloodraven
Yes,
connections,
yes,
but we're
yes.
not doing it. We're not doing it right now. We got to stay on the rails.
so
Down the rails.
Hang on before you go in, Zach. I'm gonna give you guys a little hint with this clue. Here is my hint. There.
Leighton.
Yes. There's your
So
hint.
Hmm.
so the idea is that people have a resting ability to connect to this network that has to be awoken in someone, basically. And some people might have it, and some might not. That so, uh, I guess I'll prod in that direction a little bit. There's Preston's DNA theories that he's done about who might have dragon controlling DNA and who might have green seeing DNA. I don't know if that's what you're going down. The other thing that comes to mind is I thought about this a lot with especially the brand video we did, Tom. That this is all very, especially the wargs having a second life. This is all very afterlife ish. It's sort of like an esoteric afterlife ish sort of thing. Like Bran falling forever and being able to influence time in a way that he must necessarily have already influenced time. Uh, and your theory is also that every time Bran goes through time, it is a Futurama, I'll bring her around again situation
And
where
every
he has to
time we
start over from the beginning. Uh, and he has to go redo all the things that he did the last time to make it work. Uh, that that is like an afterlife, and that it sounds like hell. It sounds like hell trying to be in a life where you try to avoid one thing happening by just constantly doing it over and over again.
uh
Uh,
I cannot dispute this. It sounds like a really special kind of Groundhog's Day nightmare.
I mean,
Um
imagine waking up on a day where you're miserably out of it and need to get to work on time, and you have to do it 40 times until you actually get there on time.
yeah, you're right. You can't get to work. You have to keep resetting your day until you manage to hit the perfect route, the perfect commute. You need
Yeah,
to hit every traffic
it,
light. Yeah. Zach, I love where you're going. And I think the time is right for another time traveling brand video. That is not this video. Um,
okay.
Haven, you have
It,
any thoughts on this?
does this theory pertain to another character who may have latent abilities that we don't know yet, who will at some point have some kind of traumatic near-death experience that will reveal the fact that they are for example, a green seer.
Oh my god, you just basically outlined the theory. You just need to fill in the details. Yes, exactly
Okay.
correct.
Okay, now we got to track
Someone
down
else.
who the character is.
Yes, we are.
Someone else has latent green seer powers, and they haven't seen them yet.
That is correct.
I mean, my instinct is, in terms of what fans theorize someone who could have those kind of powers, Euron, something related to Euron.
Oh, I love that poll, but I don't think that Euron has latent powers. I think he's
Yeah,
flexible.
no, he doesn't.
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
fully
that's a
functional.
good
Yeah.
point. No, he knows. Yeah, I can't.
So,
Yeah. Hmm.
um, well, people believe that John is going to Oregon to Ghost, right? Those are his like words that he says when he's being stabbed, and that's like a popular theory. Is that we'll get a chapter from the perspective of Ghost, and it's John inside there. Could John come back out with green seeing powers activated? Like he's still, all things considered, rather young. He's probably
Hmm.
still within the range of somebody who has a near death experience and then comes back with green seeing powers. That would make him more powerful than he was before.
Uh,
Could I quickly throw a question in here?
oh, please.
Is youth relevant to this?
Um, I I hadn't made it relevant explicitly, but I'm gonna say yes. The character we're looking for is
Okay.
pretty young.
Okay. Yeah. So
It's
yeah,
hot pie.
John is. You think
Yeah,
John?
John's a good pitch. Um, but that's not what I'm looking for. I do like that you're thinking in the right ways. Um, uh, I think that you're right. John doesn't just have a near-death experience; he has a regular death experience. Uh,
Yeah, that's true. That's
No,
true.
that's fair.
my man's dead. If he comes back, he's gonna be different.
That's true. And he'll be different regardless of whether he has extra magic powers or not.
Mhm.
So I suppose it could be another Stark. But the question there is, what's the point in another Stark sibling having green seeing powers when Bran is kind of the one? You know, he's the kind of
Yeah,
sorcerer kid.
and
Um,
and we're
I wish I
getting
had face
different
cam on
powers.
right
Like
now. I'm like
Arya's
jumping down.
getting different powers, and Sansa's getting different non-magical powers. Like they're all
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
getting specked out in different. Like Arya has
yeah. The
faceless
schemer, the
assassin
assassin.
magic. Sansa has like political backroom magic that isn't real magic, but to people looks like magic. If they're all gonna have like a different form of magic by the end, I guess we don't know what like Rickon will have, but he's also living on Skagos, so he might just have like kick the shit out of you magic by being a good fighter if he
Hmm.
makes it to the end.
Zach,
Uh,
I have wonderful, terrible news. Ding.
oh boy.
uh, Sansa Stark is currently in the Vale with Peter Baelish. Peter Baelish
Okay, so
Oh, wait a second.
under the pseudonym Elaine, Alayn, Elaine Stone. Zach,
This
I
is
did it.
not a.
You
This is not a. This is not a Bran has a Hodor, Sansa has a Moondor theory, is it?
That's hilarious. That's really, really funny.
Because
Moon the
you
door.
have all this falling stuff. Is this Sansa will fall from the Moondor and like awaken her powers?
uh, not quite, but I think you're close enough that I have to give you some credit.
Oh, oh
Hold on,
no! This
hold on,
is
hold on, hold
not.
on, hold on. Let me
This
get.
is not. This is not my boy Sweet Robin.
Oh, that's really
This is
funny though.
wait. Sweet Robin has dragon dreams. Wait a second. Hold on.
Slow down, slow down. Okay. We there was a whole bunch of stuff that just got thrown out there. Hold on. I gotta figure out what I need to actually I gotta figure out what I want to give you from all that. Um, you know what? We're gonna give. Okay, yeah. The seat of House Aaron is the Eerie, Eyrie, Eerie. High atop the giant's lance. You didn't say that explicitly, but all of the things you said require that knowledge.
Yes.
Uh,
Hmm.
oh, I like this theory a lot. It's not happy, but it is good. Um,
Ooh.
Zach, I'm gonna pivot a little bit. Hold on to all those thoughts. Haven, tell me some events that happened at the Eerie.
Okay. Once Sansa is there, or just generally speaking?
Generally speaking.
Okay, so generally speaking, I guess in the first book we have the trial of Tyrion.
Oh,
Robin
ding!
wants to make.
Immediately, right
Oh,
down the middle.
oh,
Yeah.
oh. Okay, okay. We're
Talk amongst
cooking.
yourselves. This is a long one.
We're cooking.
We're cooking here. We're cooking with robins and dwarves right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
You ready? As soon as I start writing this, you guys are gonna know the theory. So you guys talk, okay?
Okay.
Some previous tenant had
Hmm.
written
Let's
on the
let's
wall.
talk then. Hey, have you heard of this Fantasy Haven guy?
Yeah, I like the videos a lot.
Nah, he sucks.
Oh, really? Oh,
Subscribe to Quinn the GM instead. That's proper,
this,
consistent quality content.
that's true. Quinn the GM knows how to like the proper like location and size of people's eyeballs. Also, I don't know what this fantasy haven guy's on about. I've never seen a person who looks like that.
I know it's just ridiculous. I love how angry people sometimes get in my comment. Like very rarely there'll be someone who's like, "Your art is trash," like really angry, and I'm like, "Calm down. Why are you so mad about my animation?"
Yeah, I appreciate
I
that you
like
have a really
offended.
distinct like style. I look at him like, oh, that's the fantasy haven like style of drawing people.
Exactly.
That's neat.
That was the idea.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like
like,
it's
let's do
History Matters is one of my favorite YouTube channels, and when I see stuff drawn in style,
exactly.
I'm like, oh, it's History Matters.
I looked at history matters and oversimplified, and I was like, hey, why don't I do this for fantasy instead of history? I
Yeah,
was like, where do I
it worked.
start? Where do I start? What has the most lore? Well, I love A Song of Ice and Fire, so I jumped into that.
We get people in the comment, and this one goes out to all y'all. We get people in the comments who are like, "Why are they going off on bits? They're not even talking about the theory." And I'm like, "Dude, you're watching the wrong channel."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you saw two dudes like vamping about A Song of Ice and Fire and drawing on a chalkboard and thought, oh, this is going to be a concise theory with a 2 hour runtime.
Zach, would you like to read this most recent quote?
Some previous tenant had written on the walls in something that looked suspiciously like blood. The blue is calling. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The theory is that Bloodraven was thrown out the moon door.
What? No. No. Stop it. No. Okay, fine. I'll give
I
you.
mean, you drew an arrow from Brendan Rivers to he could have been in that
Fly is
cell.
where the. Stop it. I hate you and this channel.
After he somehow miraculously survived, they all agreed that they should send him to the wall instead. They changed the history records to reflect this. Nobody had
What's
ever
this?
bounced all the way back up before, so they had no idea what to do.
Yeah, he has a uh
He's a trampoline at the bottom.
yeah, he had time traveling Bran like Bill and Ted. He had time traveling Bran go back in time, remember to go back in time and put a trampoline at the bottom of the Giant's Lands for him. Is this funny? In the comments below, tell me if this is funny. Oh my god. Uh 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 what's the theory?
I'm not
Uh
gonna lie, I don't have a clue.
does
You were
does
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna get it after this one." I'm reading that like, what are you talking
So
about?
does anyone remember
but
the
no, like
scene that this is from?
the this is Tyrion's cell that he's talking about, right?
Correct.
Somebody
Ah,
in Tyrion's cell said the blue is calling, which is a very like magical thing. The sky is calling to him. He is ready to fall,
Uh
and Tyrion has to. The cells are made in such a fashion that you could accidentally fall out and die, and then I guess you were guilty all along.
So is
This
this
is
theory
excellent.
related to the fact that someone will be sent to the sky cells and will do a suicidal jump, and during this fall will unlock their powers to some extent, and that could involve something along the lines of, I don't know, traveling through their consciousness, traveling through time, or having a vision or something?
Uh, we are barking around the correct trees. Let me get
Is
you
that?
to. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is that person Littlefinger?
No, I think that person is Sansa.
Okay, okay. Ooh, Sansa being sent to the sky cells
Yes.
and then and then yeeting off.
Uh, uh,
Well, there's already flying imagery associated with her because when she kills Joffrey, well, when she quote unquote kills Joffrey, when Joffrey is killed and she's blamed for it, they say that she flies off with
Mm.
bat wings.
And,
That she's a combination of a wolf and a
ooh,
bat.
interesting.
and the Hound calls her Little Bird.
Ding.
That's true.
You're like one of those birds from the
Ooh,
Summer Isles, aren't you? A pretty little talking bird. Bird repeating, repeating all the pretty words. I don't need to write. I don't need to cite that one. We know that one.
it's called a parrot, Sandor. Come on, read some books.
I respect this. I respect. Sometimes you can't remember. Sometimes the word parrot just leaves your brain. You're like one of the. You're like You're one of the little bird. You know the bird, the talking birds. You know the birds.
That's what he was doing, but he was trying to do it in a way that made him seem cool and distant. You're like one of those birds. Yeah, yeah, pretty little talking bird, right? Yeah, you know the one. He's like desperately looking around himself, like, fuck, what's it called?
Patrons are all getting moved around. So let me uh uh let me outline where I am at this moment. I think I'm a big fan in this series of looking for Chekhov's guns. Like interesting pieces, interesting mechanics that haven't been used yet, and the sky cells are one of those mechanics. They are
Mm.
beautiful and terrifying, and the entire time that Tyrion and Kat are walking up to the to the giant's lance, they can see it. They describe it as a honeycomb, because they can see all the sky cells, and the sky cells have been used exactly once for one terrifying half a chapter. No one has been in the sky cells, and no one has jumped. Except maybe Marillion question mark, but I'm not counting Marillion because
Yeah, yeah. Jump
yeah,
slash potentially push.
yeah. Um, what symmetry could what symmetry could there be between uh Sansa's potential imprisonment in the sky cells and other people's notable imprisonment? I
So,
didn't think that question was too.
That was a
so
that was a long ass silence.
the yeah
Oh my god.
the other person we know who is in there is Tyrion.
That's correct. And how did Tyrion get out?
He requested trial by combat.
Before that,
He bribed Maud.
with what sentence? Bonk.
Uh what was it?
Tell Lady
Oh,
Aaron.
that I have beans to give you.
Nobody remembers. Nobody remembers the best line in HBO's Game of Thrones.
I'm gonna be real. My rereads are too slow. I can't remember direct lines
Tell
unless
La-
they're like super witty.
Tell Lady Aaron I wish to confess my crimes.
Oh, yeah, he lies.
Yes, and then he goes on to He goes on to bullshit in front of the court. Yeah.
Yes.
Something he's very good at, actually.
He gets out of it by lying and not confessing his crimes. What happens to Ned?
Ned
Ah,
Ned goes to confess his crimes and gets beheaded.
Correct.
yeah. Ned lies by confessing his crimes. Okay.
I posit that something similar will happen with Sansa. Maybe Lysa Arryn, although I don't know how much I buy that. Um, Sansa will be under suspicion for something, and she'll be advised. I'm going to wager by Littlefinger, by Peter, to confess to it. Um, and it goes perfectly sideways in exactly the same way that Ned's does. And she ends up in a sky cell with a pronouncement of death, just like her dad. Uh, what happens then?
So this is interesting. But my theory was always, because I feel like Sansa will try to escape, and that's a good way for her to get locked up.
Oh,
Because
that's a good one. Yeah, sure.
and like the Mad Mouse is up to some sort of shenanigans. He appears to know more than he should. It's possible. I don't think he's necessarily like anybody important, like the people who think it might be Howland Reed, although it would be really fun. Uh, but like I could see her getting arrested, the two of them, for trying to escape. And then what would she do in that situation? She would try and I mean, she would try and use Littlefinger's like the problem I can see is that Littlefinger would not put her in a place where I feel like she'd be at risk of dying, so it'd have to be somebody else. Or unless he's like truly horribly even more cruel than I think he is. But he's
Oh
a
no,
little too
who would suspect such a thing?
he's a little too I feel like he's a little too much of a gross, horrible, like grooming pervert to risk the child he really like put a lot of effort in kidnapping. Uh
Uh,
but
well, what about Sweet Robin?
Sweet Robin I mean, Sweet Robin is like arbitrary. Sweet Robin is the one who says she has to go to the cell. Like, uh, Littlefinger's not there, and Sweet Robin, who likes watching people fly, says put them in a sky cell. That I could believe.
Yeah. So then, so Sansa's in the Sky Cell, and as we saw from Tyrion's perspective, it is an abject nightmare in there. For suppose she's in there for weeks. What happens? How
Is it
does
that
how do we get to bonk bonk bonk? How do we get to this? I think. Anybody want to take a stab before I go on?
is the idea that she walks into another animal of sorts, specifically a bird, while jumping out of the sky cell and basically killing herself?
I think that is exactly where I'm going. Yes. Uh,
Okay.
Peter.
Ah, so that's
Peter.
what's unlocked. She kills herself in the sky cell, so she doesn't confess like her father. She doesn't confess like Tyrion. She jumps off, and then she has been unable to, play around with any warg abilities because her direwolf died so early on, in a Game of Thrones. So she might not even be aware that she has this ability, but boom, her consciousness transfers to a bird. Ah, a mockingbird. As you're writing there.
Yeah.
But-
I think.
Okay, okay.
I think like an Aaron Falcon is also appropriate. But
Yeah,
Hmm.
I like the poetic irony of it being a mockingbird. This is not a happy theory. Please do not mistake me. But
No, this is
no. But like Sansa has this whole thing about her, right? She has like she thinks about the songs and the stories. Um, and this is a very like Romeo and Juliet style end. Uh, Using a mechanic that has not been used yet. And then, would you guys like one final piece?
Go on.
Um, Many fans, most notably me, think that Peter Baelish is going to have a a trial, not too
Yes.
dissimilar from the trial in Game of Thrones, but less bad.
I think we talked about it with Random Internet Guy once. It was the idea that he'll be put on trial by Lady Stoneheart and the Brotherhood Without Banners, was our thought, because it would be ironic if he's obsessed with Cat his whole life, and then it's Cat who's the one who kills him eventually.
And I have this piece that I would like to add to that. Um, Sansa has all of this caged bird imagery around her. Um, I think it would be tragic and beautiful for Littlefinger in whatever cell he is in awaiting his fate, bothered every day by a mockingbird on the outside of the cells.
Mm.
You know, it flies up and it stands in his window and stares at him. No matter how many
Mm.
times he tells it to go away, it keeps coming back and keeps staring at
Accusingly.
him. Yes!
Yeah,
Yes!
driving him crazy.
Yes!
Is that you, Chandra?
I'm a bit confused.
I'm a bit confused.
So there it is.
Sorry,
This is
I'm a
my
bit
pitch.
confused.
I think it
Wait,
is.
round of applause. Round of applause.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
this is
I
a
don't know
good
if you
one.
could. I
I
don't know if
like
the
the.
mics. I don't know if the mic picked up. There was like awkward silence there. I don't know if the mics picked up my applause.
Hang on,
Uh,
we'll just we'll edit in some like canned applause too. Hang on, let's give it like 3 seconds of dead air. Ready? One, two, three. There you go. Wasn't that great?
That was wonderful. Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. What do you guys
yes,
think?
yes.
Um,
I I
you,
like
you go
this.
ahead.
I think that's all I have to say. Is this is a fun theory. The bird symbolism has been there from the beginning, and you're right. By all accounts, Sansa should have warg capabilities. I mean, even like we have Arya going down a different magic path, but she still dreams of Nymeria, and it's not implausible to think she is controlling and influencing Nymeria's decisions, considering Nymeria is currently murdering peeps in the Riverlands, which is what Arya would want to be doing. Uh, Sansa being able to warg and then having birds be her like power is pretty believable to me. This is just a good theory.
Yeah, I think it's the epitome of the bittersweet ending that George talked about. It's the caged bird finally becomes a free bird, literally, but through death, basically, through
Uh,
some form of sacrifice in a way. Um, yeah, I think it's a cool idea. It's a very dark idea. I'm a big fan of those like really like dark theories for Winds and Dream of Spring. In terms of if I think it's going to happen, I would bet against it. My instinct is that Sansa's ending will be more sweet than bitter, just because she's been through so much.
I think
Um,
this is a very respectable take.
yes, yes.
We've theorized on who she'll marry, and we came down on Dolores
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
King of the North, King Ed,
Yeah, yeah,
Edison the
King and Queen
First.
of the North.
The Tolak Kings will rise again.
Yeah.
Resurgence.
Well,
Ed
that's
Sweep.
the. Oh, go ahead. I apologize, please. I don't want to cut off anybody's bits.
I'm done. I was doing a Jeb meme. You get it.
Jeb.
Please
This
stop.
is Jeb
Ed
over the
Sweep.
north.
Ed
All
will
right,
conquer all of Westeros.
thank you very much for joining me. That's the theory. If you are not subscribed to Fantasy Haven, please go do. The link will be in the description. And one of you guys close on something funny.
Um.
Something
So
funny.
Yeah,
oh, there we go.
goodbye.
Let's do it.
Hey.